So as I said, I'm Teresa Jones. I'm the director of the dual credit program. And this evening I have joining me Sandy Belcher. Sandy, you want to say hello? You're muted, I think.
Hi, I'm Sandy Belcher. I'm the director of the Collegiate High School program.
And we also have Doreen Bridges.
Hi, I'm the College Connections Advisor for Santa Fe.
So this evening we're going to discuss the dual credit program, the Collegiate High School program, and then Ms. Bridges is going to share information with you if you are interested in your child enrolling in one of these programs and the steps that they're going to need to take. So what is dual credit? Dual credit is an opportunity for you to enroll your child at College of the Mainland into a college class. They take the college class during the school day, and at the end of each semester, College of the Mainland transfers that credit back to the high school, and the student receives credit at the high school. So an example of this would be most of your juniors at Santa Fe High School take United States history for the whole year. At College of the Mainland, they would enroll in History 1301 in the fall, complete that class, earn a grade. We would send that grade back to Santa Fe High School, and they would get a half a credit for U.S. History Part A. In the spring, they would register again and make payment, finish the class in the spring, and then in May, when the semester is over, we would send that second grade back to Santa Fe High School, and they would get a half a credit for U.S. History Part B. So they'd get their full year of U.S. History, and they would have their 2 U.S. History classes for college done simultaneously. Most of these classes, the majority of our classes, are transferable to all community colleges in the state of Texas and public schools in the state of Texas by state law. We do stick with the core curriculum, which I will show you a little bit later in this presentation, because by state law, all of these classes have to transfer to any public school in Texas. Most of these classes also transfer out of state and to private schools. You'll definitely want to touch base with those schools to make sure they will accept them, but we do stick with the core curriculum, what you would consider your basics, English, history, government, so that those classes transfer for the students when they're going off. We also offer workforce programs. We have a dual credit academy that we'll talk about in a little bit, which is welding and cosmetology. It is very low cost, and I have a slide in a little bit to talk about that, and it's convenient. So for the Santa Fe High School students, they do take these classes first thing in the morning at their high school. They show up Monday, Wednesday, and might take English, and then Tuesday, Thursday, take government, and then finish off with their day, the rest of the school day, continue on. So here's an example of a class schedule for a Santa Fe High School student. Again, you'll see in the fall, History 1301, along with Psychology for Success. So Monday, Wednesday, they would be in Psychology for Success. Tuesday, Thursday, History 1301, or those might be flip-flop depending on the schedule. Then in the spring, they register again, and they are in History 1302 and Intro to Psychology. They're getting 6 credit hours each semester, and then they go into their senior year. English 1301 counts for English 4A. Government 2305 is their federal government class. They need to graduate high school. English 1302 counts as 4B. And then we offer them a selection of Government 2306 is Texas government that you need at Texas schools, but we would also offer online a math college algebra class. There's a science class they could take online, or an American music class. They would work with Ms. Bridges to decide what that second class is that they want. But that completes 24 credit hours before they graduate high school. They also have the option of taking classes in the summer between their junior and senior year out at College of the Mainland or online to receive additional credits if they choose to. The slide I'm showing you now is the core curriculum that I was discussing, and you'll see the different components: communications, mathematics, life and physical science, history, creative arts. So when someone says they're going to a community college and they're taking their basics, their first 2 years, and usually your first 2 years at a university, you take your core curriculum. And these are the classes that we choose to offer for dual credit so that our students are taking their basics, and when they transfer off to another university or college, those classes will transfer with them for their bachelor's degree. The Dual Credit Academy is 2 programs currently. We have the welding program that Santa Fe students can start as a junior. They take 1 class each semester. We have it either in the morning at 7 o'clock or in the afternoon at 1:30. Most Santa Fe students do take the 1:30 time slot. So they would go to Santa Fe High School, take all their classes, and then come over to College of the Mainland at 1:30 in the afternoon and take their welding class Monday through Thursday. Each semester for welding, they finish 4 classes and they can go and get it's an American Welding Society certificate and then continue on with classes to earn other certificates in American Welding Society. Cosmetology is the other program. It's off of Delaney Road at our salon, off of I-45 and Delaney Road. Students start as a junior. They are over there Monday through Friday, 1:30 to 5:30. So it is a very long program as far as hours. If someone is interested in cosmetology, if they start as a junior and go through every semester, they're taking 2 classes at a time. By the time they graduate high school, they will be ready to sit for their state license as an operator. It just is an intense program in that it is Monday through Friday, 1:30 to 5:30 in the fall, spring, and then they have the summer off, and then the next fall and spring of their senior year to finish the program. If a student were to start their senior year and only take 4 classes, they could come out to College of the Mainland after graduation and finish the rest of those classes. So FERPA is a very big thing to deal with dual credit students. FERPA is the Federal Education Rights and Privacy Act. This is a federal law that states once a student turns 18 or enrolls in a post-secondary education institution, such as College of the Mainland, any college or university, the rights to their educational records goes to that student regardless of their age. So if a student participates in dual credit, all of their educational records and rights go to that student. As a parent, you cannot call up to the college and ask how they're doing, ask about their attendance. You cannot call a professor or email a professor asking how they're doing or what their grades are. Everything goes to the student. So we have a couple of ways that we handle this. I'm going to let Ms. Belcher talk about the FERPA release form, but in the dual credit program, what we discuss is we are a network, and so we're a safety net for your child because they're still at home with you, they still have high school counselors, and they have the college on the other side. So if a student is not doing well in a class, that instructor will send the college an early alert that goes to my office, and we forward that early alert email to the high school counselors. The high school counselors then will call your child down and talk to them about what's the problem. Are you not attending class? Are you not doing well? Have you not turned in assignments? Are you not passing? What's happening in the class? The high school counselor can call the parent. So if it's a problem where the student is really in jeopardy of not passing the class, they would pick up that phone and call that parent and have a conversation with you and the child to talk about should they stay in the dual credit class or should they withdraw from the dual credit class and not fail the class and go back to a high school class where they earn their high school credits. So that is our safety net because College of the Mainland can speak to the high school counselors and then they can share that information with the parents. Things that I like parents to really keep in mind if you're considering dual credit is all grades from dual credit, which are college classes, for high school credit, not high school classes for college credit. It's going to be college classes. Those grades are on that student's permanent college transcript. They will be there forever. If a student gets an F in a class, that F is on that transcript forever. The student can take the class later and redo the class and get a higher grade, but from the semester that they took that first time, that grade is still going to be posted there. Again, it is a college class, so material is not censored. If a psychology or history instructor is going to show something or talk about some controversial topics, that is going to be open for discussion with those students, regardless of if they're 16, 17, or 18 years old, because it is going to be taught as a college class. If they're going to show a movie or have something streaming online that might be considered rated R or have some violence in it or something, a World War II movie or something, they are not going to send a permission slip home for your child to watch this. They are treating them as college students. So getting their work done on time, turning it in, no late work, those are things that are going to happen in that college class, being very organized and time management. That's what a student needs to be a good college student. So material is not censored. They will be responsible and treated as young adults to take care of their work and get things turned in on time. I say that with that dual credit is not for every student. Your child could be highly intelligent and a good student, but if they are doing 5 AP classes, they're in band, they are president of the student council, They also participate in FFA and are on the golf team. Signing up for 1 or 2 college classes might not be able to fit in their schedule, and you might be overextending them in everything they can do, because they're not only going to sit in that college class in the day, they're going to have 2, 3, or 4 hours of work outside of class time they're going to need to do to keep up with that class and be successful. The cost of dual credit for Santa Fe High School, you are in district, so whether your student takes 1 or 2 classes a semester, it's $200. Santa Fe High School does require all juniors to definitely take 2 classes a semester, and most seniors take 2 classes a semester. If your child decides to take a 3rd class in that semester, decides to take something online or a different format at night or something, it would be an extra $75. Online classes, there's an additional $35 technology fee, or if it's a hybrid where they're meeting once a week, which is how the senior classes run, English is 1 day a week and the rest of it is in Blackboard, there's an extra $25 fee for that class. If they take something at the college that has a lab, those fees are not waived. And then they must purchase their textbooks. Textbooks can be very expensive. I tell students to rent their books. They can rent them at the College of the Mainland Library, on Amazon, on Chegg, on Barnes & Noble. Rent the textbook, put the box up in the closet at the end of the semester, put it back in the box, print your return label, drop it off at UPS. It's all paid for through your rental, and just drop it off and go on for the next semester. For some classes, there may be some additional homework software. Usually that's if you're taking a college algebra class that you would have to purchase. Dual credit orientation is an orientation that we require all new dual credit students to go to. We offer sessions at our League City site and our Texas City campus, usually late July, early August. It's about a 2-hour session that we have with the students. We talk about their college schedule, using Blackboard, their COM email that they will need to be checking. That is how their professors will communicate with them. Classroom expectations, again, being on time, being ready, doing their homework, doing their readings, no late work, what the syllabus is and how they would look at that, and WebAdvisor, which is their COM account, to look at their schedule and pay their bills and stuff. During registration, and when registration time is happening late this spring, we will have those dates available, and those students can sign up for one of the orientations. It's free, but they do need to attend one. This is the College of the Mainland Dual Credit Department. Email dualcredit@com.edu. Our phone number is 409-933-8679. That will get you to the Dual Credit Department directly. And Ms. Bridges' email and phone number is there as well. She is your college connection advisor that will help you with the enrollment process. I'm going to hand the presentation over to Ms. Sandy Belcher now, the director of the Collegiate High School program, and she will start her presentation.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Sandy Belcher, and I'm going to give you a little overview of the Collegiate High School program. Right now, we have 36 students from Santa Fe High School enrolled in the program. We have around 260 to 280 students total enrolled. I don't know that they're going to allow 36 students to come next year. However, you'll have to get with Ms. Orlano, and she can explain that to you better than I can at this point, since we haven't been able to see anybody since March. So admissions requirements is pretty much junior and senior classification. You're allowed to come to the Collegiate High School. You would have had to pass all your state assessments. You have to have a college reading level, which everybody will be hearing about the TSIA2 testing that's going to be coming up, I guess, in February and March, but Ms. Bridges will tell you about that later. And obviously, if you're a 9th grader, which we do have some school districts allow 9th and 10th graders to attend, they have to have completed Algebra 1. What I didn't say earlier is the Collegiate High School is the early college high school at College of the Mainland, where it allows you to work on your high school diploma simultaneously while you work on your 2-year degree at College of the Mainland. Okay, next. That's our clicker there, Teresa. Okay, so admissions requirement, there is a Collegiate High School application online, but the first thing that you're going to need to do is get with your high school counselor or your college connection advisor to get the procedures and dates that they're going to have set forth for you there at Santa Fe. But the first thing you'll have to do is, excuse me, is apply to College of the Mainland and Supply Texas. You have to pass, you have to have a reading score that's college level on the TSIA2, which is a placement test, or the SAT, ACT. There's several exemptions that you can have as far as EOCs and things like that, but it's on like the second page of the application. You can read those as well. It's got a lot of things for the parent. Parent has to sign something. We have to get references from teachers, reference from counselor, assistant principals. You do have to write a personal essay, and all that is submitted, I'm going to say, through the College Connection Advisor, but I don't know that. You need to ask the College Connection Advisor that. Every school district does it different. I apologize that we can't say in general how everything works, because everybody needs to do the same thing, so it makes it run smoothly at the high schools. In addition, though, you have to have your meningitis vaccination in order to attend classes on campus at College of the Mainland. All the collegiate high school classes are at College of the Mainland. What sets us apart at the college from other early college high schools in the state is that our students are able to continue with their extracurricular activities, prom, cheer, whatever, as long as it works out within your schedule. Every schedule is going to be different, so I can't say, oh yes, you can come and you've got you've got cheer, you've got tribal bells, and then you're on the volleyball team. Woo, that's going to get tough. So you're just going to bear with us, and we'll try to work with you. If it works out, fine. If not, it's great to stay at the high school, take dual credit, and have a great time. I think Ms. Jones was talking about the FERPA just a minute ago, and talking about parents not being able to speak to professors. Well, you can't. And it's hard for for parents to understand that, since everybody is, since we're all helicopter parents. I'll just leave it like that. I'll say I was the same way, so it's okay. But when it comes to students' accounts, we know who pays the bills. They can sign off on a FERPA, what's the word I'm trying to use?
Release form.
What's it called?
FERPA release form.
Okay, there you go. See, she knew better than I. The FERPA release form. So you can access their account to pay their accounts, but that's all they're going to talk to you about, is what I'm saying. So what sets this apart with dual credit is the fact that you can't take more than 2 college courses per semester. You have to be a full-time college student in order to be in the collegiate high school program, and that means 4 classes. Some people take more, don't get me wrong. If you're an associate's degree, at some point you're going to take more classes, because 48 hours in 2 years is not going to get you an associate's degree. It's 60 hours, so you will take more, or you'll take summer classes like Ms. Jones spoke about earlier, or you'll take a mini session, which is a 3-week course for 3 credits and move on. Just like I said, some districts allow students to begin in the 9th grade, but obviously we're talking about Santa Fe, it's going to be your juniors and seniors. So see, collegiate high school students have a 40% tuition waiver. So that makes about 12 college hours around $485. Now, remember what Ms. Jones said as well. If it's an online class, it's $30 extra. If it's a hybrid class, it's $25 extra. For what we know right now is fall classes will begin on campus unless they change it. Now, I told everybody that last year, in less than 30 days prior to school start, and we all went online. Not a fun thing to do, just FYI. I believe I had maybe 2 or 3 Santa Fe students have to return to the high school this year, because it's college level work for high school credit, like Ms. Jones said earlier as well. They're rigorous courses. It's not even different than going to UT your first 2 years. I'm just telling you. Also tell everybody, if you can make an A or B in the science classes at College of the Mainland, you can make an A or B in any major university in the state of Texas. And yes, from the collegiate high school, I have students in every major university in the state of Texas, with the exception maybe I think of Rice. So they've all gone through it. Everything has worked out fine. Their courses transfer with no problems. We also have a lending library, which means that we let students borrow our books and then they return them to us. We also buy the access codes, which sciences and math have, and Spanish, if you take Spanish, They have computer programs that they work within. I think they're kind of like homework type stuff, but you have to purchase them because that's how homework grades get posted. We also have college transition classes. That's a high school credit, but all of our students are enrolled in them every semester. Staying organized and time management is something that you can't teach enough of. And some students do it really well, some students do it okay, and some are horrible at it. But by the time they leave us, they're going to be a lot better, because staying organized and keeping up with your classwork is major. There's no, oh, I'm just going to wait and I'll just do that paper tomorrow night. You don't write 10 and 15 page papers overnight and you're going, oh yeah, right. 10 and 15 page papers are written in our English classes. It's a lot of work. It just doesn't happen boom like that and you've got it taken care of. Not unless if you're okay with D's, it's okay. But if you want A's and B's, you're going to have to work at making that happen. All high school classes that we teach in the collegiate high school program, we still teach Algebra 2, Pre-Cal, Chemistry, and Physics. So if you haven't taken those classes for your high school graduation, you will take them with us. And as of right now, they're all hybrid and synchronous. You have to go into them at a certain time every day or every other day in order to get to be in there with those same teachers. Like I said, the fall, I think we're going to start back face-to-face, so we ought to be okay. Just like I said earlier, you can't participate in any extracurricular activities on your home campus with not any problems. Also, collegiate high school students can join any student organization on our campus. I think we have something like 29 or 30 different student organizations. The collegiate high school student organization is NewSci. Everybody's enrolled in NewSci. And I emphasize this with parents, is that because when you start making applications for universities and you start making applications for different scholarship within the university, or even if you're going to come over to College of the Mainland, they always want to know what type of community service work you've done and what kind of organizations you belong to. So it's a great opportunity for students to get to know different students from different areas with our student organizations. Only collegiate high school students can be in NewSci, but our collegiate high school students can be in any club that we have there on College of the Mainland campus. I think actually most of the Phi Theta Kappa, which is the honor society at the college, I'm not exactly sure of the count now, but usually we have 3 or 4 kids that are on the board for the Phi Theta Kappa. We also have several that are in SGA, which is a Student Government Association. And I think our kids actually started the Gamers Union. Don't even get me started because I don't even know what that even means, but I kind of do. So, I mean, we've got different clubs for anybody and everybody. Okay, next please, Teresa. Students, you have to want high academic standards. You can go over there and make A's and B's all day long, but you can also go over there and make C's and D's. C's and D's aren't going to cut it. You're not going to get out of College of Mainland with just C's and D's. It's not going to happen. And D's never transfer to the next level. You've got to have some maturity. When we put you all in a high school room, we all know you're high school students. We mix you up and you're in different classes. They don't know the difference between you and the person that's been out 2 or 3 years, because that's just the difference in how maturity works when you're with other mature young adults. You need to be self-motivated. You've got to show responsibility. You've got to keep up your work. You have to work on your time management and organization skills. I really believe time management and organization is the key to college success. You just got to be able to keep up with everything. It's tough work, but it's all doable. So we also have a parent information session that we'll be sending out this week to our high schools. It's all going to be about the collegiate high school program. It's going to be February the 11th at 7 p.m. and it'll be on Teams, kind of like in this format. And that's the site that you can go to in order to get in and listen to the things that we have, the more detailed things we have to say about the collegiate high school program. Ms. Jones talked about orientation for dual credit. We also have a collegiate high school orientation. It's usually 3 days before the college starts. And then we actually follow the college calendar, but we start 3 days earlier and we end about 2 weeks after the college actually closes. So, but we'll give you that information at a later date too. And I think we'll be here for questions if you have them after this. Okay, thanks.
There is Ms. Belcher's contact information and her administrative assistant's contact information if you would like more information about the Collegiate High School program.
I forgot that one was there.
That's okay. Questions and answers. Before we start questions and answers, I would like Ms. Bridges to come on and talk about the enrollment process and how that's going to be handled at Santa Fe High School and give you some information about that. Please, Ms. Bridges.
Hello. Good evening, everybody. I'm going to lean in a little bit because my microphone isn't working very well. I wanted to let you know I'll be on the Santa Fe campus first day back. It will be February 9th for me, and that also will be the first day of enrollment sessions. So the way the process is going to work, the students will go to the counseling office and see Ms. Biggs, I believe her name is, the secretary for the counselors. They will sign up with her. The dates are going to be February 9th, 16th. I'm hoping I can add the 24th and March 3rd. I'll have confirmation on that in the next 48 hours, hopefully. But again, there'll be plenty of dates and seats and times for students to come. They sign up. I pull them out of class. They have the class period to complete the application process. I will advise them on the course selections that we will be offering at Santa Fe and the testing process. Each student will need to know their social security number or bring it with them on the day of their advising session. That is crucial. They cannot submit their application to the college without it. It's also a good opportunity for them to start learning that social security number and keep it safe. Again, we'll have those dates for the required advising session, and I'll go over a whole list of things with the students again about course selection, career choices, and the things that they're going to be going through in the next process as they get through with their first college application. Then we'll talk about testing. If they have not taken the PSAT or they didn't score high enough on the PSAT, which if you want to jot that number down, the EBRW, the evidence-based writing or reading and writing, is a 460. And I need a math score of a 510. Again, I'll give all of this information to the students, but those sophomores that did take the PSAT will need access to be able to print or show me those PSAT scores, and then that will waive them from taking the TSI. If they don't have those scores or if they didn't take the test, then I will sign them up to take the TSI. Also, we can do STAR EOC. That's a 4,000 on the level 2 English 2, and the TSI will be waived, but I will need a copy of their high school transcript with those scores on there and to show that they've completed the algebra part as well. Right, Teresa? I'll talk about that testing and the requirements and all that again in their advising session. The testing dates are going to be March 9th and 13th. Those are 2 Tuesdays. And then we'll have a Saturday testing on the 13th at the College of the Mainland. The vouchers that are given to the students for the test, the TSIA2, they're good for online sessions and for on-campus sessions. So if the student can't make any of the dates that we offer, I will be able to give them a voucher and they can set it up on their own time to go to the college or take it online at home. But they must sign up with me through their advising session to get the the voucher for the test. Again, the PSAT or SAT score reports will need to be printed out because I have to turn those into our admissions office, so students will need to know how to access their account. And like I said, we'll have 3 testing dates, the 9th and the 13th, and then a Saturday testing. But also, again, vouchers are eligible to be used online. The student just needs to let me know. Again, I'll give more information about the TSIA, the test that we offer. But just so you know, it's new this year. They've changed some things up. Students are required to take all sections: math, reading, writing, and the essay. The math does not determine eligibility into the program, but they do have to take that section. The reading and the writing are combined, so that is going to be one score, that evidence-based reading and writing score. Okay, I will, like I said, be there on the 9th. At the end, you'll be able to get my email address and my phone number. Feel free to give me a call between now and then, and I'll be happy to help answer any questions that you have. Thank you.
Thank you, Doreen. What I want to add to that enrollment process is the enrollment sessions that Ms. Bridges will be having, the TSIA testing. Then you receive your registration form from your high school counselor, get that signed and get that back to us. And that's when you actually get registered for your classes. And then the most important thing after registration is to make your payment. We do have students that get dropped from classes for not making their payment. And so we don't want that to happen to your student and for them to lose their seat in the class. So making sure that your student, brings home that registration form, you sign it and have your child bring that back to the high school to get registered. Okay, at this moment, we're opening up for questions and answers. Scott, can you explain to the viewers how they would post a question?
Yeah, if you look in your upper right corner of your screen, there's a little question and answer icon. If you click on that, then you can type in your question.
So any questions we have can be typed in now and we will try to answer them for you. Any questions popping up, Scott?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, we must have done a fantastic job and answered all your questions. Again, Ms. Bridges will be out at Santa Fe, and I showed everyone her email address, dbridges@com.edu, and then also the dual credit at com.edu email account that you can email questions in as well, and we will answer them. Or Ms. Bridges will also help. She will be walking your student, your child through this process and has done this for a long time and has a very good relationship with your high school counselors and will help walk those students through the process and get them registered for classes next year.
Okay, we had a couple come in.
Okay.
All right, if your child is already in dual credit, do they have to take the TSI again?
No, if they are already in dual credit as a junior, they can roll into their senior year. They are eligible to take their English and government next year without taking the TSI test again. The only thing we would look at is a math score if they were trying to get into a college algebra or a college math class. But if not, if they're going to take the classes at the high school, English and government, they are fine and they will just, they don't even need to attend an advising session or TSI session. Once it's time to register, they get their form from their counselor and get that back to Ms. Bridges and get registered for next year.
All right. How do these two programs affect high school GPA?
You're going to need to get with your high school counselor and ask them that. Everybody's is different.
Mm-hmm. If Monsieur Orlano is on, if you want to type the answer in, we could have Scott read that off to them. If not, we'll let them ask that of their high school counselors. Every school district weighs the GPA and dual credit and collegiate high school different, so we never try to answer that question because they all weigh it a little bit differently at each school district.
All right. Is there a limit on how many students can do the collegiate or dual credit program?
For the
collegiate high school, you're going to have to get with Miss Orlano again because this is 36 is the most kids I've ever had from Santa Fe. I don't know that they're going to send that many next year.
The dual credit program, we usually can run 25 to 50 seniors and 25 to or 30 to 60 juniors. So we usually offer 2 classes of every subject, and we've never overfilled that. So we've never had a limit to the number of dual credit students. If they're eligible and go through the process, we find a seat for them in a class, and we've never gone over the limit of seats that we've offered before.
All right. My student will be a sophomore this year, or is this year. What part of this pertains to him?
Could be both.
He's a sophomore this year, so
It could
he
be-
would want to go through the process of the advising session and TSI, and then y'all need to make that decision as a family and with your high school counselor of is he going to apply to the collegiate program and go over to COM as a junior, or is he going to stay at Santa Fe High School and take the dual credit classes at Santa Fe High School? But as a sophomore, if you're a sophomore right now, this is the process you need to get started to be ready to start the program next year when school starts. The registration process is this spring.
All right. Where can I find my PSAT scores?
College Board.
Yeah, you need to log into your College Board account, and you should be able to pull your PSAT scores up there. If not, your high school counselors will have a copy of them, and they will probably pass those out to the students as well.
Okay. So if a student takes dual credit classes their junior and senior year, will they have to complete 2 semesters of college? Will they have completed 2 semesters of college?
If they take dual credit their junior and senior year, they would have 24 credit hours, which is 2 classes short of finishing their freshman year of college. 30 hours is your freshman year of college, so you would have 2 more classes to take to finish your freshman year. Your senior year, if you have time in your schedule, you could opt to take additional classes online or take something in the summer and complete 30 credit hours before you graduate high school. It is an option if you're a go-getter and want to take some extra classes on your own time. But what's offered at the high school will give you 24 credit hours, and you'll be 2 classes shy of finishing your freshman year of college.
And if they're in collegiate high school, you should be able to walk out with a 2-year degree.
All right. Are collegiate students mixed in on their own, or are they mixed in with other college students in their classes?
Collegiate high school classes are just collegiate students. If they're a college student or taking a college class, which they will be, yes, they will be mixed in with the general population. FYI, parents, most of our classes don't have 30 students in them, even in the college classes. 15 to 20 students are usually around the maximum that we have in most college classes.
All right. My child is doing virtual learning. Will this affect this process?
I'll answer that. No, I will be having a virtual session. One will be on the 9th, and then I have another tentative date I needed to verify with the high school. I will put the virtual dates for advising sessions out and have those distributed through by the high school counselors.
So the enrollment process, they will be able to do most of that virtual. And if they're going to take, there is the option to take online classes for dual credit if your high school counselor allows you to do that. If not, it is in person.
Okay. When do I need to bring my social security card?
Your social security card is used in the application process. So there will be a question on the application where you'll enter it. So you won't bring it to me or anything, but the student will need to know it on the day that they have their advising session when they start the application to the college.
Yeah, so that doesn't come to the advisor, and I would not send the social security card with my child to the school, but they need to have it written down somewhere so they can put that in the application so they don't get lost in the system.
All right. This it says the GPA is weighted at 5.0 for any college classes.
There you go. So Ms. Yorlano or someone answered, the GPA is weighted at 5.0 for college classes.
She did.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we no longer contact Destiny Andrews?
No, Destiny is moved to our financial aid department. So I will be the contact from this point forward.
All right. So will four-year colleges accept the dual credit classes?
Yes, the majority in Texas, the public schools must accept these classes as long as you make a C or higher. If you make a D, you've considered passing the class, but that D is not going to transfer off to a university. And then we have students go to LSU and out-of-state schools all over the country, and their classes do transfer with them. And that's why we do keep it in the basics of everyone needs English composition. Everyone has to take U.S. history. Every student has to take federal government as your basics. And those are the classes that we offer. We don't branch off into any specialty classes, because then there's a chance that those won't transfer for you. So we do stick with the very basics. But yes, they transfer all over the state, and we have students going all over the country, and they don't have a problem with their classes transferring.
Okay. Do I need to take dual credit my sophomore year to be part of this program during my junior and senior year?
No, Santa Fe High School does not allow their sophomores to take dual credit classes. You would start your enrollment process your sophomore year to begin dual credit your senior year. I mean, your junior year.
But they can take classes in the summer of their.
Yes, I was going to say,
yes.
They can start the summer of their sophomore junior year.
Okay. There is a process for being enrolled in CHS. You have to meet the guidelines provided by SFHS. Please have the student speak with their counselor. That was from Yolanda.
Okay.
Yes, if the student comes to me during an advising session and is, requesting that they want a collegiate high school application, I'll be more than happy to give them that application. But again, they have to have that approval and have had that discussion with their high school counselor first.
Are CHS students included in the senior rankings at Santa Fe High School?
Yes, ma'am. They're still a Santa Fe High School student. They just take classes at College of the Mainland. You're still a Santa Fe ISD student, period.
Okay. How do you get the login information for the PSAT?
Your high school counselor will have to help you with that. It was developed on the date of the test. So you'll need to reach out to your high school counselor if you didn't get your test results yet.
Okay. My child right now receives extra accommodations from the state. Does COM provide any of that for CHS students?
The college has an Office of Disabilities. Yes, they do provide for some accommodations. You have to, the student has to self-identify at the college. So when we know we have a student's 504 or maybe has some special needs, we make sure they give that information to the disabilities coordinator there, and then they work through that.
I would like to add on to that the biggest difference in college and high school is that all colleges will make the appropriate accommodations to be successful in class. They do not modify any curriculum.
Correct.
So, and you must self-identify. There is no paperwork coming from your high school to the college saying you are a 504 student or you get extra time on a test or anything. You have to go and self-identify. Now, Ms. Belcher's office would help her students self-identify, and they would work with the counselor for disability services. And then college professors are notified by letter if a student is in their class and what accommodations have been provided for that student. The student doesn't have to self-identify if they want to try it on their own, but I always suggest they have a case on file with the disability office in case they do need accommodations, because you're not going to be able to say 2 days before the test, oh, I need extra time on that test, and think that case is going to be worked and you're going to have a file. That's not going to happen. So you should do it at the beginning of the semester and have it on file in case you need it, and then you can always ask for those accommodations.
Correct.
Okay. My child does virtual learning. How will we do the process?
I will send out a link for a virtual meeting similar to this, and I will advise the students and walk them through the application process virtually. They'll need to join the Teams meeting, and I will be walking them through the process. They still should call the high school counselor office and sign up for a date and time with Ms. Biggs, and let me know that they are virtual learners, because I won't know unless they identify.
Okay, my child wants to take the dual credit program over the summer. When or how do we register, and how many classes are they allowed to take over the summer?
It's the same process for fall as it will be for summer. So they'll, again, need to sign up for an advising session and take care of all of the enrollment process with me. And then registration for summer and for fall opens up April 6th. So as soon as we get them their test scores and all of the paperwork taken care of, we can work with the counselors, get their enrollment sheet for summer signed and filled out, and it can, confirm their enrollment, and I can get that done by the 1st of April.
Usually you can take 2 classes in summer 1 and 2 classes in summer 2, although that is a full load. Summer classes do run 5 weeks and you meet 4 or 5 days a week for about 2 hours a day. It is a more intense process. So you do need to make sure you're balancing what else is going on in the summer. If you have a part-time job, are you going to be able to handle 2 classes or just take 1 class each summer session? Also, you can't be gone for a week of vacation during summer school. You've got to be able to be in the class every day, or if it's an online class, being able to log in every day and do the work, because it does go so fast. But definitely students can start in the summer and take a couple of classes.
Okay, there was another part to it. Also with this, will it put them at the 30 hours to complete their freshman year of college?
If they did take 2 classes over the summer and then completed everything at the high school, yes, they would have 30 credit hours then. They could take 1 in the summer at their sophomore year, between sophomore and junior year, and then another one between junior and senior year if they wanted to, or take both of them in the same summer. But yes, that would give them their 30 hours to complete their freshman year of college.
Okay, my son is a freshman and wants to do CHS. Would he need to do anything specific for next year when he will be there, when he will be a sophomore?
Continue to take his pre-AP classes.
And then we will start this process. We start this process every spring for the following year. So he would, do this process of what we're talking about: advising sessions, TSI testing, collegiate high school applications. He would do all that next spring. So spring of 2022. Wow. Spring of 2022, he would go through this process to apply for a collegiate high school.
He needs to make sure that he does talk with his high school counselor and let them be aware of what his plans are too, so that they can make sure, as Ms. Belcher said, his course selections are preparing him for the college program.
Okay, is there a required GPA to do either program?
I believe Santa Fe has a 3.0 requirement, but Ms. Yolano will have to confirm that.
Yes, everyone requires a 3.0. Again, we work with the counselors to look at that. If a student is slightly below that, what was the reason for that? There can be some discretion on that, but we require a 3.0 to be in the program, which is a B average. And, if you're getting a B average in high school, you're going to step up to college level work, which is going to be more difficult.
Okay, I think you answered this one, but if students have 504 accommodations, do those travel with them to the college level?
They do have to self-identify at the college Student Success Center. For the counselor for students with disabilities, you do have to self-identify with that and bring your paperwork.
That means they have to bring their paperwork. If they come to me, they need to bring the paperwork to me, and I'm going to tell them where they need to go. If they're going to do dual credit, they're going to have to take it up there and hand deliver it.
Mm-hmm.
During the advising session, if they let me know that that's part of what they need to do, I will give them the information so that they can set up that appointment and meet with the counselor at the college to get that paperwork taken care of.
Oh, if you're in the collegiate high school cohort, you have to take the dual credit classes as sophomore. That's what Ms. Orlano just said. I forgot they started at this. I forgot. Thank you, Beth.
Right. So if you have a freshman now, they can start as a sophomore with dual credit with me. I'll get them in that started, and they'll take their classes, and then only thing they'll need to do between their sophomore and junior year will be to complete the collegiate high school application, and of course confirm with their high school counselor that they're eligible.
Okay, can you give me the contact info for collegiate and the collegiate info, email, phone number? I know
I will actually go back on the screen and hold on, let's see. Sorry. Maybe I will.
Okay, so let me go ahead and type it in there.
Here's the dual credits.
Mr. Lano is saying that they have a collegiate high school cohort for the class of 2024.
Sorry, I guess I'm not able to share this again. There we go. Can everyone see that screen with the dual credit department information?
Yes.
And there's the collegiate high school information.
And again, Mr. Lano said, only if they are a part of the cohort. So again, it's really important for the students who are interested in the collegiate high school program to make sure that they have confirmed with their high school counselor about that either becoming a part of the cohort or if they have been in the cohort.
Okay. And she said, please speak to the counselor.
Okay.
Okay. Is there a limit on how many students can do collegiate or, well, you already answered that. How do you check your kid's GPA?
It's on their high school transcript, or they can get it from their high school counselor.
Beth wants to know that if she can get access to speak at all.
Not through this avenue, not through the live event.
No.
No, I think we had to do that to begin with.
Yeah.
Sorry, Beth, I apologize. It's all new to us.
So I'm reading a question here. Sorry to jump in over, but it says the sophomore student has to take dual credit classes this summer, only if they want to. If your student's a sophomore now and they're going to be a junior, then they're eligible for the dual credit program. If they would like to take summer classes, then they can let me know at the time of the advising session, and I can give them the information, and we can get that taken care of.
Okay.
And the last, sorry.
Where do we register for dual credit next semester if you're already in dual credit now?
Again, you're going to get a dual credit enrollment form from your high school counselor. They will give you the informant with the course on it, and then you will get your parent to sign it and then turn it in to me so I can get you registered.
Okay, so if they want to go to the collegiate high school program, they have to be in they have to be in the cohort.
Yes. So that means they need to let the counselors know their freshman year or their sophomore year. So I believe that's
I'm not sure about that. I don't know that.
I'll confirm that
Thank
with
you.
Mr. Lano and make sure that we get the right information out. Teresa, can you go back to the dual credit slide of our information? That's the last question, I think.
A cohort is a group of students or individuals that start a program together.
Okay, the sophomore student has to take dual credit classes this summer, question mark.
Sorry. Hey, the cohort starts only for the class of 2024.
Right.
Do you have to be in the cohort? So I guess for this next year, you don't have to be in the cohort. I can't even count 2022 or 23. It's hard for me to get out of my head.
Every time I hear their date of birth, I freak out.
I'm with you.
Okay. Yorlano's saying only for class of 2024.
That would be our freshman.
Yeah.
That would be the freshman.
How do you get in the cohort? I'm going to let you talk to Miss Orlano on that, whoever's asking that, because I do not know that. Anyone can apply for CHS in 2023. And now, obviously. Sorry, Beth. How do you know if your child's part of the cohort? Please get with Miss Orlano.
Yeah, I'm sorry to have to keep throwing all this on there, but it's all on the counselors to know if they're part of the cohort. Again, that would be if you're a freshman. They're the graduate.
They signed up last year. They would have signed up last year.
Okay, there you go.
Okay, Scott, any other questions? I think we're about to wrap this up this evening.
That's all of them.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Sorry we were not able to get Mr. Orlano on this meeting with us. This is new technology for all of us. We're still learning. But if you have any questions, please contact the dual credit office, Ms. Bridges for Collegiate High School, Ms. Belcher, and definitely talk to your high school counselor about questions concerning the cohort and moving forward in Collegiate High School. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.